Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And now today we have a bit of gameplay footage with longbows. I've been having quite a lot of fun with longbows lately. I've kind of developed my own little style of playing them. That isn't really my own style, it's just how I think you probably should play them. Basically, just being an anti-range. You are basically going to check the other team and see what units they're all running, and then you'll bring out your longbows appropriately for that. So we'll have a look at the Veterancy line and see my doctrines and stuff in my longbows, and then I've got some footage that I was pretty happy with. So yeah, hope you enjoy, guys, and we'll get into the Veterancy. Right, so here are my longbows, trying to make them look a bit Robin Hoody. But let's first start off with doctrines. Doctrines-wise, we have some incredible doctrines in here, not going to lie. They are really, really good. Precision Doctrine 3, obviously upgraded version. Piercing damage increased by 120, and increased piercing armor penetration by 70. Then we've got just a normal Epic Archery Doctrine, another 100 piercing damage. If you keep adding up the piercing damage, you'll see why these are so crazy. Then we've got some extra ammunition. That is 55 extra ammunition, and then obviously increased piercing damage by 30. Then we have an extra range, so still stays 5 meters extra range, but then I get a 3% rate of fire increase. That's always handy. And then the big boy here, we get arrow rain, 75% of the unit's base piercing damage with each hit, and increases piercing damage by 150. So between all of these, we end up with quite a dominant longbow that can hit like a truck. But let's get to the Veterancy line, and I go top line. I think this is probably the only way to go with these, if I'm honest. We got extra range, so that's, you know, another 15% extra range. Piercing pen, crit value, another 15% extra range. So now these guys become ridiculous, and this is why you would only go top line, because longbows are about firing very far and antiing other people's range. So you want to be doing that from as far away as possible. Extra ammunition, that's always nice. And then this is the big one, increases damage dealt to range by 40%. So obviously you'll see in the clip, as soon as I hit range, it goes from hitting, you know, 1,200 to then hitting a range target for like 3,000 to 4,000 that obviously instantly kills the range target. And then down here we just have an extra 5% damage and 3% health. And then in terms of stats, we're looking at 2,500 health. That isn't that much, but you know, we're so far away, unless they bring out other longbows and you don't see them, this is enough to survive. 24 of them in a unit. Leadership 145. Speed, it's kind of, yeah, fine. My range is 121. That I don't know what that means in terms of maybe meters, I don't know. Ammunition is very high because of our doctrine with 55% more ammunition. That's really, really good. And here we go, look, piercing damage 2,376. That is incredibly, incredibly high. Piercing pen is 2,119. So yeah, they are really quite strong. So let's get into the clip. Right, so here we are. We're on Reggie, and we're changing from my tercios to my longbows. I think we're on about 64 kills around this point in time. But I noticed the enemy team's got a lot of Shenjis, a lot of archers out, and this is the time to bring the longbows out. I think longbows get played wrong a lot of the time. You should be mainly checking what your enemy team are running, and then you bring the longbows, because they do such high damage to anything that's range. I think in their Veterancy line, well, of course it is in their Veterancy line, but they do so much extra damage to enemy range. So at this point, I'm just looking around for any range. You'll see me in a little bit. I will check the scoreboards to see what enemy units are on the field, and it's incredible the damage these guys do. I mean, to be fair, my doctrines are ridiculous on these guys, and I've obviously fully done the unit tree as well. But yeah, there's nothing better than when a full volley of the longbows lands on range. It feels great. So I'm just sort of arcing them over at the moment. And the main thing I'm doing also is checking the trebs. So I'm just moving these back while they don't have their range out. So I've just killed all the initial stuff. And now what we're doing is we're having a little lurk. So we got some Shenjis. I'm looking for those. You're being like a bit of an Overwatch. And if you hide them away like this just for a little bit, then the enemy gets very comfortable. They start maybe a push, and I was sending them back there, but then I've just noticed they brought the Shenjis out again. So we're going to bring them back, try and put them in a way that they'll arc over. It's a bit of trial and error, but sometimes you'll just randomly put their kind of positional targeting thing somewhere, and it will just end up hitting something, because they've almost got like eagle eye. They see over walls and stuff, and sometimes they can arc it, and it's just, with their range, it's amazing. So we're just going to send them back now and get them some more ammunition. I think I forgot that we had a supply point just down here, so a bit more risky, because if they still have a mortar, they can reach just at the top of those steps, but I thought I'd take the risk and just get some ammunition just ready for the next kind of flurry of enemies coming in. And it looks like they're going to want to attack B anytime soon, so we're going to get ready for that and have a look out and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, it looks like they're pushing B, so we're going to pull back to our initial position and see what we can get. It's just trying to find the right angle to get all these shots on. And lucky I've got arrow rain on mine as well. That means these longbows fire at a ridiculous speed. That means they any range that they do hit, you can wipe the entire squad. That is how we're getting so many kills in this game. It's if they're used properly, they're such a force to be reckoned with. Like, to counter them is quite difficult. And as you see, I'm keeping them moving. I'll fire a few volleys and then I'll move to another spot. Just because it means the trebs are a little bit less likely to hit. But my eyes at this point, while I'm watching, I'm always watching that treb in between the gates right there. I just want to make sure that we're not going to suddenly get trebbed. That's the main thing. And there you go, look, the arrow rain's off, and the amount that it is, the rate of fire is incredible. I think they were axe raiders over there, so not doing the huge amount of damage to them. You'll know when these guys hit range, because it will go from being like 1,200 damage on kind of soft infantry targets each shot to being like 3 to 4k. That is insane. So I think over there they've got some Namcams just through the gap, and he was just out of my range, but luckily he moved them in, and my guys just decided to fire over the top of the wall and start wiping them out. But got a few kills just there. And here comes the treb. I think I was a bit late on looking at that one, but luckily the first treb hit the wall, so we just avoided that as well. It's a bit of a dodging and weaving sort of game you're playing here, and you want to set them back as well. Set them back from this wall, so you give the arrows a little bit of a chance to arc downwards. And yeah, so anything behind that shield wall there, we're killing. Again, you've got to be using longbows at the right point in a game, because obviously at this point I'm actually helping my team by getting rid of Shenjis and stuff like that. But if you're having longbows and you're just kind of sitting with them and nothing's really happening, and you're not making sure that your enemy team does have range out, it's probably better to just pop them away, grab out something, and actually be in the fight with your hero. So yeah, now we're just going to send them back, get a little bit of ammunition, and we're going to wait for them to push on C, because we have lost the thing. But we've managed to whittle out a lot of their range. That is that's been a good thing for the team, because, you know, a stack of Shenjis with their grenade throw can really change a battle if they do it properly and knock down that shield and the team pushes with them. Here I'm just sort of experimenting to see if I could aim up in the sky and see if we'll hit anything. Sometimes you get lucky and you just nail a team of like a group of units, but not so lucky that time. Just taking a look to see what we can find, see if we can get any arc to sort of in between the wall there, but no dice with that one. So we're going to probably look at setting them up here just to make sure they don't push through the breach. See if I can do a long way. At this point, I'm sort of deliberating. You can see my mind's going here, here, here. But eventually we settle on just lining them up through the gates there. And obviously when you do this, there's going to be a section of your bows that are just hitting the wall. But it's just, I'm doing something is the main thing. And we're hitting a lot of shields. So this is like how I'd say not to use them. It's fine how here, but if this is your whole fight and you're hitting shields a lot, then yeah, it's not really worth it. But in terms of this, we got Falconettis knocking down the shield wall, so my arrows are just penetrating through once those guys are on the floor. And then back to get some ammo. I'm being quite cautious about how much ammunition I've got. Like, they do have a lot of ammo, but I just want to make sure I'm going to have enough to, in case there was a very large amount of enemies coming in, I can just keep them firing for a bit of a time. And now bringing them back. We've got a nice little setup here, though. We've got Falconettis, we've got Janissaries, Stalwarts, so it's unlikely, and Fortebraccio, so it's unlikely they'll make it through this side. Just having a little look to see what we can see. And yeah, team's doing well here. Although I don't know how much we've actually got on the C point, but this, you know, I'm focused on anti-range. So see this guy, we're gonna make sure this guy doesn't get up behind us. Little kick. Into a little ult. He does actually get away. That's well, he gets away initially. Heal. I don't know why he should have kept running. Ideally, I wouldn't have been able to. He could have got more healing off, but hey ho. And now I saw this position here, and I'm like, oh, actually, we could probably, you know, anti-archer a few people from this side. So I riskily bring them past the breach. That, you know, is always a danger, but yeah. So we're having a little look, and unfortunately, in a few seconds, we do get anti-archered ourselves a little bit. We lose, what, like 4 or 5 of them. That isn't great. But trying to find the angle to hit these. I think they're Namcams there. That's, yeah, slightly annoying, but we'll keep looking here. Thinking potentially putting them on the steps is going to be the play, to see if I can arc it down a bit. I thought maybe we'd get a lucky, like, all the arrows hit them all at once and we could get a kill, but silly walls in the way. And then try again. We don't have much luck. But then I see kills start coming in. I'm like, oh, what am I hitting? We just got like 4 kills there. And there's an enemy longbow right there. Luckily, my longbows are so well doctrined that they can beat out these longbows with their arrow rain very quickly. So we do take some losses. We're down to 18, and we've got half health for quite a few of them. But we've taken out his longbows. They're out the game. Another thing to do when someone's firing longbows at you, if you're trying to get anti-longbows, is put your hero somewhere where the AI from the other longbows will start shooting at you instead of your longbows, and then you just shove your longbows back on top of them. That hero, yeah, I don't know why he thought that would be a good idea. With a dual blade, with my ult, it was never gonna end well for him. And now we're coming into the closing minutes. I'm like, at this point, I'm very happy with what they've done, so I'm not even going to bother sending them back. I'm just going to see what I can get from certain positions. And then I saw over here, and this I'm going to use more often. I actually haven't used this position, but longbows from here, while they're the enemy, after they take A and B, this would be an incredible place, if you can avoid trebs, that is, to get things on the supply point, especially Shenjis like this. These Shenjis right here are now going to be taking quite a lot of damage, although they will be healing from the point. But even if we can wipe out 5 of them, you know, we've done a good job, and we're actually doing it. And then we start getting anti-bowed again, down to 15 troops. But luckily we set them back a little bit, and we might get 1 or 2 shots off. And now we're going in for the anti. See if we can just nail them. Yep, my longbows are better than yours. It's why I've stuck so many nice doctrines on these boys. Their hits basically one-shot longbows, where my ones don't get one shot. They take 2 shots to get out. That actually makes such a difference. That's his whole stack is dead there. And now in the last 11 seconds, we're just shooting at stalwarts. That isn't really going to do much, to be honest, but you never know. You might pick up 1 or 2 more kills. And that will be it. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun using anti-archering. We got 203 kills, 5 heroes. Some of that obviously was from before this clip started. But 139 unit kills, 1 hero kill. So they really got good value out of that. And they can be so dangerous. So yeah, highly recommend longbows, but play them properly. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.